right, Granny, listen up. I need money and I need it now. Wire $30,000 into my bank account by the end of the day. And no, I am not asking you for money. I am demanding that you do as I say.
My goodness, is this one of those newfound wire fraud schemes? Back in my day, you types would butter up your targets with praise and promises of hitting it rich. But now you're just going straight to threats? It would make me nostalgic for the days I would get emails from the deposed Nigerian prince. What's this? Oh, it's actually my estranged daughter, Mary. To what do I owe the pleasure this fine day?
The pleasure is all yours. Now cut the jib-jab and let's get down to business. You've got $30,000 on your hands right now that you can send me, don't you?
As a matter of fact, I do not have that much in liquid assets. And even if I did have the means and desire to give in to your demands, I wouldn't do so unless I knew what you needed it for. Tell me, what kind of pyramid scheme have you gone and gotten yourself tangled up in?
Pyramid scheme? Yeah, sure, whatever. I got caught up in a massive pyramid scheme or something and need money, so hurry up and send it as soon as possible.
Oh dear, that's terrible. In that case, you are likely the victim of a crime, so you should be calling the police. Is someone blackmailing you? Are they in the room right now? Should I call the police in your place?
Oh, would you just shut up already? God, you are such an annoying old hag. I don't even know what a pyramid scheme is. I just need $30,000 for myself, okay? So just shut up and send me the money.
I already told you, Mary, not until I hear what you need it for. I must say you're not taking the sort of attitude one usually takes when begging another person for money. And really, $30,000? You can't possibly expect me to part with that much money on a whim like this.
I don't have to explain myself to you. All you need to know is that I need money now. Giving me money is the only thing you're good for anyway, so just shut up and do your job.
My job, is it now? Seriously? How old are you now? In any case, you're far too old to be talking to me like that. You were the one who made the decision to go and live with your father, and if this is what he's done to you, I can't help but be concerned for your future.
I don't need your concern. I need your money. Like, for real, all you are is some dried-up old hag who got kicked to the curb by her husband. You should be more concerned for yourself than you are for me. Not only that, you aren't even enough of a woman to keep Dad satisfied. He needed to have a side girl to give him the attention you wouldn't. How pathetic. You can't blame him either, can you? I mean, you're 10 whole years older than him. I'm honestly surprised that Dad put up with you as long as he did.
Uh-huh. Is this the reason you contacted me today? To insult me? I understand that you and your father hate my guts, but don't you think it's high time the two of you got over your hatred for me and started living your own lives? I mean, how long are you going to keep this up? Are you going to come to my funeral just to spit on my grave?
Trust me, your funeral can't come soon enough. But no, I didn't text you because I wanted to chat.
Then why?
I already told you why. The money. You're gonna send me $30,000 before the end of the night. And no is not an option for you. Ugly old granny or not, you're still my mom.
Not anymore, I'm not. I quit.
What? What are you saying? You can't quit being my mom.
Can't I? I've been divorced from your father for years. And when we got divorced, I voluntarily gave him full custody of you. I honestly don't care if you call me granny, hag, or whatever foul thing you can come up with, but I would prefer if you would stop calling me your mother. The only thing connecting us anymore is a little tiny bit of DNA. You only contact me when you feel like using me again. Consider this my resignation. I am not your mother anymore. So please don't even contact me again. My life has gotten so much better ever since I got rid of you two. Don't ruin my newfound happiness by injecting yourselves back into my life.
I don't think so. I'm not gonna let you stop being my mom when it's convenient for you.
It took you more than 2 minutes to address me as your mother in this conversation. And that was only to try and guilt me into giving you money. I know that you hate me and rarely have anything to say to me other than insults. But I was still a bit excited to see a notification on my phone that you had texted me for the first time in ages. But when I opened it up, you were just insulting me and demanding an insane sum of money. What's wrong with you anyway? I don't care if you're my biological daughter. You are absolutely nothing to me. You're less than a stranger. So if you're looking for charity, inquire elsewhere.
Please, Mom, don't say that to me. You're the only one who can help me now. I need you, Mom. I really, really, really need the $30,000. If I don't get it, I don't think I'll be able to go on living anymore.
Oh, goodness gracious, that's certainly a change in tone for you, isn't it? Up until now, you were throwing all sorts of nasty insults at me. But now you're suddenly calling me Mom and begging for my help? Sorry, Mary, but frankly, the way you speak to me doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. You could do nothing but shower me with compliments, and I still wouldn't give you what you asked for. Thanks to you, I've completely shut down all my maternal instincts. If you're that desperate for help, go and see if your father will help you. That man has done nothing but fill your head with all sorts of evil lies about me. He's the reason that you've come to treat me like this. And even once you had the ability to discern right from wrong, truth from lies, you still sided with him. You've made your choice, Mary. Now you're just going to have to live with it.
Come on, why are you being like this? You know just as well as I do that Dad doesn't make that much money. But in spite of all that, he still took care of me from the time he ditched you to the day I started living on my own. Sacrificed everything for me, and what did you do? Absolutely nothing, that's what. You're nothing but a bitter old cheapskate.
Yes, I'm not surprised at all that that's what he's told you about me. Allow me the pleasure of disillusioning you now. You never asked me, so I never had the chance to tell you, but your father wasn't the one paying for everything. I was.
What? What are you talking about?
You just said it yourself, didn't you? Your father doesn't have much of an income to speak of. That's why I was paying child support to him. Year after year, month after month, I never missed a single payment. But too bad for him, you're now an adult and can live on your own. That means that he can't extract any more money out of me. I was paying him a pretty substantial amount, so if he's already running into trouble, I'll bet you anything that he had been giving you just the bare minimum and spending the lion's share of it on himself.
What the? You're serious, aren't you? You really were sending Dad money all those years? But if that's true, you're telling me that I was putting up with cheap clothes, cheap food, cheap gifts, cheap everything for nothing? Dad was just spending it all on himself while just leaving behind the scraps for me to live on?
Yep, that sounds just like your father. But as I've already said, that's not my problem anymore, and it hasn't been for some time. If you have any issues with your father now that you know the truth, take it up with him. I've already been putting up with your vitriol for more than long enough. I don't need to waste any more of my life listening to you complain.
This is insane. Like, everything that I thought was true was a lie. He told me that I should never believe a word you say because you were just going to lie to me to get to him. And with money stuff, he always told me that he was paying for all my living expenses. So if I needed spending money, I should ask you for it. The only spending money I've ever gotten was from you.
I was wondering why you would only ever text me once a month to insult me and demand more money. Back then it was usually under $100 that you asked me for, though. I only kept giving you an allowance because I felt like it was the bare minimum that I could do as your mother to support you, and now I've fulfilled my duties. You're going to have to take care of yourself from now on.
You're kidding me.
You're an adult, Mary. You think other parents continue to finance their children's lifestyle after they leave the house? I've done more than enough for you already.
This is just too insane to be true. Like, I used to think Dad was great for protecting me from you, but now you're telling me that he's actually just a money-grubbing loser?
That's a good way of putting it, yes. And now you know the truth, so what you do with it is up to you. I no longer have any feelings for either of you, so I think this is a good opportunity for us to put an end to our communications. We don't have anything more to talk about, so I don't want you talking to me again.
Hold it! I still need the $30,000. Please, I'm begging you. I swear to God, this is the last thing I'll ever ask you for. You can do that for me, right?
If you need that much money so suddenly, then I'm sure you must be in deep trouble. But that's your issue, not mine. I'd rather that you didn't drag me into whatever mess you're in.
Please, Mom, please. It's just $30,000.
If you're unable to pay it yourself, then it seems that you've gotten in over your head. And since you're not even going to tell me what you need it for, then it must be something embarrassing. And I'm not going to bail you out, but I will give you some advice. Don't make the same mistake again.
Okay, for real, Carol, really? You went and blabbed to Mary, didn't you? Thanks to you, now she knows that I was lying about getting money from you. I've never seen her that mad in my life. This has totally ruined my day. So what's your problem, huh? Haven't you done enough to humiliate me? You're not going to be satisfied until even my own daughter hates me? I gave you explicit instructions never to talk to her. Are you trying to rekindle your mother-daughter relationship this late in the game? What's even the point?
That's not what this is about at all. That girl has been nothing but trouble to me ever since even before I left you. I haven't once gone out of my way to talk to her. She's the only one who keeps coming to me, and that's exactly what happened earlier today. She texted me out of the blue and said things that were just plain wrong. So what else could I do but tell her the truth?
You could have said nothing, or lied, anything but go and tell her everything. Good God, Carol, you may have just completely trashed her perception of me as her father. Is that what you were trying to do?
You said it yourself. What would the point be this late in the game? She asked a question, I answered her. It's that simple.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it was simple for you. You just made things way more complicated for me. She just came to me demanding I cough up 30 grand. What's the deal with that? It has to be because you weren't giving her enough of an allowance. And now she's come to shake me down for what you should have been giving her.
You really never change, do you, Doug? Have you forgotten that Mary is almost 30 years old right now? I haven't been giving her an allowance for more than a decade. In fact, I was under the impression that we were never going to speak to each other again. Until today, she hadn't even sent me so much as a happy birthday or Merry Christmas in ages. And now she suddenly comes around wanting $30,000. I suppose that when I turned her down, she went straight to you. I'll tell you the same thing I told her. This isn't my problem. Stop contacting me.
What, you think I want to be talking to you? Don't think I forgot about what you did to me when we divorced. You took everything you could from me. You left me with nothing. I hate your guts. I would never think to talk to you again unless I had a really good reason to do so. All you needed to do was shut your big fat old granny mouth and cough up the cash she asked you for. That's all you're good for anyway. All you did for her was send money. You completely abandoned your motherly duties. If you think money is an acceptable alternative to being a mother, then you shouldn't have any problems paying up now.
You know, you two really are a lot alike, you know that? If you wanted me to be a part of her life, then why did you do your best to keep me out of her life? You wanted to go and run off with another woman, but you had one problem. Your daughter liked you too much. So you ripped her out of my arms, took child support payments from me, and went and spent it all on food and drink for yourself while Mary starved.
And what makes you think that?
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, you got me. That's why I went ahead and convinced her that you were some kind of wicked witch who abandoned her. I was raking it in for years and she never even suspected a thing.
I'd say the amount of money I took from you during the divorce far outweighs the money I've paid to you since then. So perhaps raking it in is a bit of an overstatement. But regardless of what happened between us, Mary is still my daughter. I was sad to lose custody, but knowing you, sharing custody would have been an utter nightmare. I figured the best thing to do was to support her as best I could, and then to cut ties completely once she turned 18. And it was working for a while. Thanks to your lies, she thoroughly hates me. And since I sent quite a bit of money your way to support her, I'd say I fulfilled my responsibilities just fine.
Then you still have that same responsibility right now. She wants 30 grand and you're gonna give it to her. You would not believe the temper tantrum she's throwing right now. She's all like, my life is ruined thanks to you. It's all your fault. She screamed at me so loud over the phone, my ears still hurt.
Oh, you poor thing. You're finally getting some comeuppance for your lies. You can drop the victim act, Doug. Between the two of us, I'm the one with far more reason to cry foul. I've given you more money than I needed to, and you wasted it all on yourself. Then one day, Mary comes along insulting me and demanding $30,000 for some unknown reason. After I turned her down, because of course I did, now my creep of an ex-husband is spewing vitriol at me. What do you want from me, Doug? I thought I had washed my hands of you.
What I want from you is to get Mary off my case. Give her the freaking money. I know you've got plenty of money. You do nothing but work and you've got no husband or kids to support.
I'm not giving one more cent of my hard-earned money to either of you. I think it's finally time you dropped the act and showed Mary what you really are. It's all over for you anyway. You're not going to get your way with me anymore. And since Mary's an adult now, you can't siphon any more money from her either. So what do you have to gain from projecting this false image of a responsible, caring father?
What do you think I am, some heartless villain? There's more to life than money.
That doesn't have much meaning coming from you.
Come on, don't be such a snot.
Okay, then tell me, what's in it for you to keep up a relationship with Mary besides money?
Well, Mary's still young, isn't she? She'll probably get married soon and have grandchildren. I wouldn't want to miss out on seeing my own grandchildren.
Uh-huh. And when birthdays and Christmas roll around?
Then I'll send you the bill for their presents.
You are so predictable. You know, you just reminded me of something very important, Doug.
Huh? I did? What's that?
You're quite possibly the lowest form of life on the planet. You haven't messaged me for years, so I guess I had forgotten to block you, a mistake which I will be remedying right now.
Mom, I really need that money now. When are you going to send it to me? You're gonna send me the money, right? I'm in big trouble. Like, crazy big trouble.
I made myself crystal clear yesterday, Mary. I am done with you. Don't come around asking me for help anymore. You won't get it.
But you don't understand. I actually owe some people some money. A lot of money, actually. And I have to pay them back today or else. I swear to God that I'll pay you back. So could you at least lend me some money?
I had a feeling that's what was going on. There's no other reason you could need such a large amount of money so suddenly. Tell me, what did you spend the money on?
Well, I gave it to my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend? Why?
He told me that his mom was sick and he needed the money for an operation. He said it was a life or death situation, so he absolutely had to have the money right away. I didn't have it, and I couldn't take out a loan from a bank so suddenly, so he introduced me to some friends of his, and I borrowed it from them.
And you didn't find that suspicious at all?
Huh? What do you mean?
Unbelievable. You really are your father's daughter. He kept going to bars by himself even after we got married to hit on other women. Some of them pulled the same scheme on him that your boyfriend pulled on you. Once I got pregnant with you, he did clean up a bit, for a while. But then one day he came to me saying that he had met the love of his life or some other ridiculous thing. I suppose you would say that's my fault for being 10 years older than he is.
Did Dad really do that? But you never said anything like that to me when I was a kid. You never even complained about him.
It's not exactly something you talk to a child about. In spite of his unscrupulousness, he still was your father after all. And also, there's the simple fact that he was the man I chose to be my husband. I figured I had made my bed, so now I needed to lie in it.
But Dad was always complaining about you. Like how old you were and your skin was starting to sag, your hair had lost its sheen, and you had bags under your eyes. He was constantly mocking you.
You haven't had any experience with this yourself yet, but pregnancy and childbirth take a heavy toll on a woman's body. Once you have a child, it's practically impossible to go back to the way you looked before. Then there's the matter of him being a complete failure at taking care of you. I can't stress this enough. I genuinely could not trust him to take care of you. That fool was trying to give you warm milk mixed with honey before you were even 6 months old. So I had to do practically everything by myself while still working. That meant late nights, early mornings, and precious little sleep. Really, though, you were born at a time when simple things like that could be looked up on the internet, but that man couldn't be bothered. All he had to do was type in, "Should I give honey to an infant?" and he would have had his answer. But he did stop going to bars, which I was grateful for, and he did seem like he enjoyed being with you.
This is an awful lot to take in. So you're saying that Dad got the way he is now once I was a little older?
That's right. Once you were out of diapers, he went right back to the bars and started seeing other women behind my back. That was when I realized that your father was a lost cause. Also, since you were old enough to talk, that meant you were old enough for him to tell you lies about me. I got tired of the constant mistreatment I had to deal with and decided to get my own apartment.
But Mom, how did you deal with all of that? Like, you never seemed unhappy with Dad or anything. Why didn't you tell me that Dad was lying about you?
Because if there's one thing that man is skilled at, it's lying. He already had you thoroughly convinced that I was the problem in the relationship. You never would have believed me, even if I told you. In fact, you seemed to quite enjoy talking with your father about how awful I was. If I were to break through that web of deceit, it would inevitably have become a shouting match between us in front of you. Not only would that not have resolved our differences, it would have made life at home a living hell for you. I didn't want you to have to live with seeing your parents arguing with each other every day. I had to deal with that when I was growing up, and I always wished that my parents would have broken up. At least that way I could live in peace and quiet. And so that's what I did for you. As for whether that was the right call, I honestly can't say. Life with both of your parents in constant fighting, or life with only your lying, cheating father. To tell you the truth, I've been wondering which would have been better for you ever since the day I decided to leave your father.
Wow, I had no idea. You're making it sound like you were thinking about my best interests this entire time. You kept on paying him child support and giving me an allowance for all those years? All the while I was treating you terribly and never listened to a word you said. I always just believed whatever Dad told me about you. And then you let him have a daughter that you had worked so hard to raise and protect from the time I was born, all because you thought it was what would be best for me? You were really thinking about me the whole time.
I was, Mary. You were my daughter. What else was I to do?
But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that you were the only one who was really concerned about my well-being. Dad only used me as a tool to extract money from you, but I still took his side and treated you just as bad as he always did.
I wish I could have had this conversation so much sooner, but yes, that's all true. So have you realized the error of your ways? Your credulousness and unwillingness to hear the other side of the story has now resulted in you digging yourself into a very, very deep hole. Not only that, you've also personally alienated the only person who would have been willing to pull you out.
Yeah, I get it now, Mom. I'm really sorry for everything. I had no idea how much you cared about me.
Sadly, you're far too late in having this epiphany. I won't be forgiving you. However, I did spend an incredible amount of time, effort, and money into raising you, so I do hope that you'll take better care of yourself from now on. Don't make my investment in you go entirely to waste.
I will, Mom. I'm never going to do anything to disappoint you again. But about the money, I really, really need that $30,000. If I don't get it today, I don't know what's going to happen to me.
I'll bet you're quite terrified right now. I would be too if I were in your position. But how did you get into this position in the first place? You made a long series of bad decisions because you incorrectly assumed that someone who you treated terribly would always be there to help you. But that person is long, long gone. I'm not going to help you. You got yourself into this mess, and you're going to have to find some way to get yourself out. Mary didn't give up easily. She kept sending message after message, begging me for the money she needed. Needless to say, I didn't budge from my position. I kept on telling her no. Eventually, she realized that she was utterly powerless to undo the damage she did over the years with her hateful words and actions. All I can hope is that this was a big enough shock to get her to turn her life around. By the way, about the man she referred to as her boyfriend, as I expected, he was a professional fraudster. He had done the exact same thing he did to Mary to multiple other women. He used his charm to hook them in and then threw them over to the loan sharks he was in cahoots with. It turned into a pretty big story. They had a lengthy special report about it on the local news. Some of the victims appeared with blurred faces and altered voices to tell their story. I recognized which one was Mary right away. They also reported that the man in question was only 20 years old. To think, after Mary gave me all that grief about marrying a man 10 years younger than me, she went and did the exact same thing. I couldn't help but laugh when I heard. I won't be speaking to her ever again, but I genuinely hope that she turns her life around.